I'm Gabriel Ritchie.
I'm Jeremiah McConan.
Jay, it's great to see you again. It
Likewise.
feels like it's been forever since we last spoke. Uh
Yeah.
Both been doing a bunch of like shit, personal stuff. Anyways, we were talking about, you said we both started listening to Pardon My Take,
Yeah.
the Barstool podcast. They're like it's always up there with Bill Simmons. It's the number one sports podcast.
hmm
Um Big Cat and pro football commentator. And then like they secretly have like five hosts on that show. Like I always forget. Like I always just like assumed like what is
Hank,
it,
Billy.
Billy, Hank, and there's one other, right?
There's another
Jake?
guy. Yeah.
Isn't it
Jake.
Jake?
Yeah. Because he's with
Yeah, I
Billy when
always
they do
assumed
the
they were like all
Mount
the same
Rushmores.
person.
Yeah.
Anyways, we were talking about them and we got into like I was explaining like my issue. Like you say you think they might be the best. And I was talking about like my issue with the Barstool Spot podcast and the Barstool brands in general is like I think that's a great pod. I think Big Cat is hilarious. I think PFT is hilarious. However, like even in that podcast, it's just always they always have to like hype up their own brand. They're always pushing the Barstool brand. And I feel
Yeah.
like with most of the podcasts I listen to and like The Ringer, which is basically what Barstool is. They're both like media companies. The
Right.
Ringer, they don't do that. They talk about the topic. They're not hyping up Simmons. When they're talking about movies, they don't randomly throw in a way to like hype up Simmons the way like on that Andrew Schultz podcast, the one you
hmm
were talking about, which I was enjoying listening to. But I stopped listening about halfway through, I'd say, because they had brought up Dave Portnoy for like the third time in the pod. Just Dave doesn't take shit. He
Yeah.
fights
I remember
this and
that
that,
part.
and it was like, what is this, man? This is your boss. It's corny because at the end of the day, he's their boss, and they're just hyping up their boss, and it
hmm
was super corny to me. Um, I've found Portnoy funny over in the past. Can't tell if it's a character or not. Um, there's other issues with him and whatnot. I know he's a local guy, but
Yeah.
that's my issue with Barstool. And then Andrew Schultz, I was gonna say going into the pod, I was not a fan of Andrew Schultz because of like that group of comedians that
hmm
like the Joe Rogan tree of like Joe Rogan, Tim Dillon, who they mentioned at the on the top, um, Andrew Schultz, Brendan Schwab. None of those like it's a group of comedians I don't find funny at all. But Schultz actually had me laughing on that pod, and the pod did one positive thing from that pod is it did like turn my perception of him around, and I was definitely hard on him.
Yeah.
However, the others I've definitely heard a good amount. I mean, Tim Dillon's maybe laughed before, but like I just hear other shit because I'm really into stand up comedy. So like
hmm
I'll hear different like beefs and whatnot, and some of the stand up comedians I like have said stuff about Tim. Like he had beef with like one of the guys I like, anyways. Yeah, that's my thing, but that is a positive. Otherwise, that's my thing. When you
Yeah.
say that they're the best, that's a gripe I see immediately.
That's fair. I mean, I could definitely see how it could get annoying when they're just every episode it's like, oh, and our boss Dave. I think though what's different with them, maybe why like we don't see it as much with the Ringer or other shit, is because I think with Barstool, like it was like Dave and Big Cat and like two other guys were probably the first employees as it was growing, and like I don't know, I guess like that relationship that they have with Dave might be a little different because with Simmons is like he had his Grantland shit in ESPN, but then he came to the Ringer and then I don't even know who was like what's the
Well, the
girl's name?
OGs were like Chris Ryan,
The
Juliet
girl,
Letman,
the
Mallory
Ravens fan,
Rubin, yeah,
Ruben. Yeah, her.
and maybe Sean Fennessy. Like it was a bunch of the nerds.
Yeah, right. So I think it's like I don't know. That culture is just kind of different. Where it's like Portnoy, and they was talking about that too on that Andrew Schultz episode, how he was just going against the grain and shit, coming up, and it was sort of like a close knit group that were sort of just having this bandit style of podcast, and I think that's why they're always bringing them up. But it's fair that that you say that could get
Yeah,
annoying
but at the end of
sometimes
the
because I hear
day, like
that.
Schultz pointed it out too. It's like, oh, you guys talk like we're just men, blah blah blah. We're just
Oh,
shooting
like
the
the
shit, and
boys,
it's like, nah,
but you're not really.
you're like a million dollar company.
Right.
At
No,
the
that's
end,
what I'm saying. So like now it's crazy how they got to that point, but because I think how they started off, where it was like this little thing with just a bunch of guys blogging. I don't know. I think something about the way they started. with Portnoy and like two other guys basically starting the company, just running around writing blogs. I think something about that nature is why they
And
feel
I
as if
don't
they're
like
always indebted to him and
Portnoy does
writing
like
too much.
Portnoy do be talking shit about Simmons sometimes. And it's
Oh,
like, don't forget who the first man on the moon was. You know, don't forget who the
the
Podfather.
Podfather.
He was doing what you were
Facts.
doing way before you were doing it.
Yeah.
Um, he's just way less controversial, which is crazy to say, right? That Simmons is
Yeah.
a controversial dude.
True.
But yeah, that's my thing. And then just the whole nature of Barstool sometimes with like
I know they got
PMT.
their
The PMT is great. PMT is great.
yeah.
They have a whole ton of other podcasts that it's just like there are some weirdos at that company. I won't get into it on this, but
Yeah.
uh
No,
yeah.
they definitely have had some
There's some
moments
weird
where it's
stuff that
like,
I could tell you off like
no,
shows that certain
I
topics
bet. I bet.
and certain things in the past. And then just like I just they're that brand of not to get political here or to act like I'm on a high horse. Like I'm a flawed person for sure.
Yeah.
But like they're that brand of like white people who they don't want to get political, but they totally like Portnoy interviewed Trump in the White House
Yeah.
and was just like stroking him the whole time. It's like, don't we know that we know what I don't want. We talked about this a long time ago, season 1 or season
Yeah.
2. Like we
Yeah.
know what it means when certain people say they don't want to get political. It means
Right.
we
It's
know
like
where you lie
low key,
and
yeah.
whatnot. But what they said about
I guess when I think Barstool, I think PM just the PMT show.
for
But you're
sure,
right. There's
for
there's more
sure.
to it
But
that
that's my only issue with PMT is that what we heard,
the
what I mean,
Portnoy
where it's just like we got to
Guffs.
push the brands.
Yeah.
Um, but
I
I get
feel
it.
it though.
Once
I
you're in
feel
it,
it.
you're in it. Once
Yeah.
you're in it, you're in it. And yeah, that's my 2 cents on podcasting.
Yeah, no,
But I do
that's
find them hilarious. It's definitely the funniest show. One of the funniest shows I listen to because I do listen to like straight up comedy,
yeah,
like podcasts, like not even sports podcasts. Like I
like
listen to This Is
comedians.
Important, which is the guys who are on Workaholics.
Okay.
That I sent you, and you probably haven't got a chance to listen to it. They're just nonsense, and uh, we could talk about that. They're funny, and then like a few others, but yeah, I don't want to act like I'm criticizing. I mean, I am criticizing. I want to act like I hate them or I'm like
Yeah.
defending like, oh, like I'm getting like I'm a Ringer fanboy or something because that's not it either.
No, I hear
Like
you,
I've
bro.
definitely been listening to them more than I've been listening to. I mean, Simmons isn't recording right now, but like I've
Yeah.
definitely been listening to them more than I've been listening to like Rosillo lately.
Right. Shows like talking about books and shit.
Those were pretty good though.
They probably are. Yeah,
But it's
I'm
just
talking. I'm
once you
talking
start
shit.
once we hit that Bruce Feldman that Bruce Feldman zone is what I'll call it, where it's just like you're talking about shit. And
Oh, all right. So they were talking about, and then we can get into what we wanted to talk about today. But they were talking about. I thought this was interesting when they were discussing Malcolm Gladwell.
that was funny. That was
That
funny.
was
Yeah.
so, bro. Honestly, I low key feel the same about him. I'm like, is this guy
Yeah.
really
That where he just
smart,
bullshit sometimes. Like the
or is
Nigeria.
yeah,
I know you remember when he went on Simmons was like, all of the greatest basketball players are from Nigeria. And then he
yeah,
started like claiming like before you knew it, he was on like Steve Nash and Larry Bird, like that they're from that. He was just like he was making it
South African.
it just went back to everybody originates from Africa. It's like okay, when you started this, you were treating it like every,
Yeah,
but it
and then
was
I
like
remember
Giannis and
he
this
was making a
guy's
weird like LeBron argument why he's the GOAT because he was like pure. If you just take him like the
yeah.
pure basketball player, I'm like, dude, it's obviously not just that.
Closerman's like that too, where it's like
Closerman,
stop
another one.
looking at this to stop looking at
Yeah,
something right in front of you with binoculars.
yeah. Like, stop trying to be a nerd when you don't need to be a nerd about something. Like, just like some shit is simpler. We could all fucking understand it. Don't
Yeah,
make us feel like we're stupid.
that was
But
funny. Oh, but
yeah,
then yeah. The and then just yeah, I just don't like when guys. I mean, we do it obviously. We're in love with Tom
right.
Brady and we hype up all
Guilty.
these other guys, but I feel like you and I are really good about, and this might be getting off track, which is I've
No,
been
we're
saying
good.
a lot lately on this podcast. People probably think I'm going senile, but you and I are good about to a point. We understand that people are flawed, and I
Yeah.
don't see us truly idolizing anybody.
Nah,
Like
I mean,
I idolize Tom Brady, the football player,
mhm.
and I do think he gets a bad rap, but I'm not out there like defending like certain things he does
No, we've called him a
or
weirdo on
whatever.
the pod several
Yeah,
times.
exactly. He's a weirdo. Where
Yeah.
others, it's like people do it with Elon Musk. They do it, and this is
Mm,
where I'm getting to. They do it with Joe Rogan. And Schultz was like,
mm.
Joe Rogan's a genius, blah, 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 blah. And it's like,
That was weird.
but it's bull. And he's like, but he calls himself stupid, but he's a genius. And it's like, no, that is weird because what I hate about Joe Rogan while we're um, criticizing a bunch of podcasts now.
Yeah, fuck
What I
all
don't
y'all.
like about Joe Rogan is he says like he talks about serious issues and he says crazy shit about serious issues, and a bunch of people feel the same way about him that Andrew Schultz does. That he's such a smart guy, and he'll say
Mm,
crazy shit, and when he gets called out for it, oh, I was just kidding. Oh, I'm just being stupid. Why are you listening to me? And then he
right.
does it the next week and states this fact.
That's honestly a big problem.
And that's where
'Cause,
Schultz kind of lost me, where it's like, oh, Joe Rogan's the
yeah,
smartest guy, blah blah blah. It's like, no, he's not.
it's like you know the reach you have, and you're gonna act like
Right.
when you say some shit that doesn't hold weight. Like, come on, man. But yeah, I don't know, that was an interesting little intro we had there. Do you want to?
Right, that was not planned. We were just
Yeah,
talking about that before we went on.
should we talk about the real reason why we decided to record? Which I don't know, Gabe. I mean,
By the way,
okay,
everybody, I apologize if my voice sounds a little off. I think
yeah,
I'm dealing with a sinus infection. That partly explains the tardiness of this podcast.
yeah. No, the people, you guys should understand. We deliver for y'all every week, so you know, you cut us some
The
slack every
mailman.
now and then. But I mean, yeah, by now everyone knows Shams reported at fucking 2 a.m. that the Celtics offered, I can't even believe this is real still, that they offered Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and multiple picks for my boy KD. Just off like first reaction, you see that shit. What was your
All right,
thoughts?
so this was right at the peak of me feeling like shit with the sinus infection. I had no
Yeah.
idea what was wrong with me. So this just added to like how much pain I was in. And I was just like, I woke up to it like I think I woke up to because I was not sleeping well. I saw the tweet like immediately. I was
Okay.
just like, instead of like, oh, we can do emergency, I could do like a quick emergency like Instagram live or something about this.
Right.
I was incapacitated. I was oh
You were
fuck.
like legit depressed
I
about
hope
it.
this is like a dream. Um, and here's my instant reaction.
Yeah.
Just depressing.
Mm-hmm.
Going 6 games into the finals, and you feel the need to trade for a guy who's asking out of not the worst situation ever. That and one quick thing, our last episode, I will say, I was too easy on you guys about KD.
Oh yeah, you
I
did say
think it's a
yeah.
bitch move him asking out. We all know he's a fantastic basketball player. We spent way too much time talking about him being a fantastic basketball
His
player.
skill set.
When OJ murdered Nicole Brown Simpson, we didn't talk about all of the records he broke for the entire trial, you know? Like we
Yeah.
didn't need that, like, oh, well, first of all, let's talk about how great KD is. And say that
Yeah.
I'm being a little
We
harsh.
we treated
Obviously, he's
KD
not OG.
more like Ray Lewis instead of OJ. Because didn't Ray
He,
Lewis murder
he
someone
didn't
and
do anything. He didn't do anything
or,
like those two.
is that right,
Uh
DJ, if you're
and
listening?
maybe calling it a bitch move is a shout out to DJ.
Facts.
Calling it a bitch move might be a little much, but it was not. It's a beta move. Uh,
Honestly, bro, yeah, I'm not even gonna push back.
so back to so yeah, I wish I pushed back more on our last
Yeah.
episode. Is all I'm saying. However, I was bummed because Jalen Brown's like my favorite Celtic. He was the only guy in the finals, not afraid,
Right.
and I think he's only getting better year by year. I think he's a guy who works hard and seemed like he wanted to be here. And now,
Mm-hmm.
can you blame him at all for wanting to leave? I always felt like Tatum is the guy. Obviously, Tatum is the guy, but I always felt like Tatum is the guy. If one of them is going to leave, Tatum has, I want to be in LA written all over. I want to be in a
Mm,
big market written
yeah.
all over him. So it sucks that they felt the need to throw after a flawless GM record so far for Brad Stevens. This comes out,
I
assuming it's true.
know. Yeah.
That's what I'll say first. Secondly, some Celtics fans were being, as they normally do, way too dramatic about it. Because at the end of
Mm.
the day, if KD is healthy and JT, that might be banner 18. And also Jalen Brown, that's not Bill Russell. That's not Larry Bird. It's not even Paul Pierce. Like, let's not act like we're trading away a top 50 guy all time here.
Yeah.
I love Jalen Brown. He's probably my favorite Celtic, but at the end of the day, those are that wasn't an instant reaction, but that's something that was my reaction to the reaction of the news. I
Mm,
didn't like it either, but some people took it too far, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna stop being a Celtics fan and shit." It's like this happens when you're
yeah.
rooting for a sports franchise. They're gonna do stuff you don't want to do. Uh, but yeah, nice reaction. I texted you. I texted it to you that morning. I was like, "This is like you finding out your girlfriend just tried to cheat on you," because the Nets declined the trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't want nothing to do with the trade. It's like your girl Jalen Brown with the Celtics. Let's say the Celtics is Jalen Brown's girlfriend. It's like
Mm,
waking up finding out your girlfriend tried to cheat on you, but the guy she tried to cheat on you with was not interested. And it just makes it a
brutal.
million times worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
But let me hear your thoughts. Because
No,
I
I
know
mean,
you're gonna have a different take on this because that's your pops.
yeah. So I've actually like when I instant reaction, bro, like the emotional side of me was like, oh, this dude, Jalen. And I get the argument. So first of all, I low-key think Jalen was the best player for us in the playoffs. And definitely in the finals. Okay, maybe the playoffs it was debatable, but I thought in
In
the
the finals for
finals,
sure. In the finals
yeah, I
for
thought
sure.
finals for sure. And even like the conference finals, I thought it was debatable.
Yeah.
And I get the argument that Tatum had to, he had a bigger responsibility and that made it easier. That makes it harder on him and easier for Jalen. I get that, but I don't know. The games that we were watching, it just looked like Jalen was not shying away from the moment and Tatum was. With that being said, okay, so I guess it's also important for us to mention that the Celtics or the Nets declined the initial offer of
Hmm.
Brown and White, and then
Yeah,
they
yeah,
asked for Marcus Smart,
yeah.
which that's where I can't make that trade. If it's Brown, Smart,
No.
and a bunch of picks and White, that's
I
they
don't even want to
forced it.
trade. I'd be nice to
The
have
Derek
KD. I
White,
don't
like,
want him though. No, but
right?
I
So
I wouldn't
now,
even do that trade if I'm the
yeah,
Celtics.
dude, I feel that because like once I got through the emotional part of it, I was like, all right, let me try to think logically here, put my wannabe GM cap on, and I'm like, all right, Brown, White, like I might lose some hours of sleep on that, but maybe I might make that choice. But Smart, Brown, White, and then including the picks. Because then at that point, bro, you're just changing the identity of the Celtics. The same Celtics that from January on, which it was their defense that got us to the finals. Like once you trade Smart, Brown, White, all
Right.
those picks, like you're just completely changing the identity. And I know it's KD, and some people might say the reason we didn't win the finals was because our struggles on offense, which is fair, but
Yeah, but
like, and I know KD obviously that once that guy walks through the door,
that'll be
there
a
is
short
no.
term fix.
Exactly. So that's the thing too. KD's 34 and Brown is he's going to be 34 when the season starts. Brown's going to be 26.
Yeah.
KD has 4 years left on his deal. Brown has two. And this is what makes me even more sick, bro, cuz now like you said, the girlfriend who tries to cheat gets rejected.
Right.
Brown has 2 years on his deal left. I just saw a tweet today where he was like he'll never forget this. So I'm like, okay, that's great. And then you're trading for a guy, KD. Yeah, he has 4 years left. Yeah, 4 years left on his deal. But who's to say 1 year he goes through it and he's just not happy, and then he's Brooklyn all over again? Because, like you said, the situation in Brooklyn, bro. I was looking at their roster. You got Kyrie, that nut, Simmons, TJ Warren. Like that's a good team. Why would you not want to play for that team? So then the Celtic fan in me is like, okay, so he's probably going to be on maybe a lesser talented team. Like him and Tatum is great, but it's going to be not as talented. I don't know, man. It's just like if you make that trade for KD, it has to move you into like a tier where you are definitely the favorites.
Yes.
And I don't think it does that, especially if
No.
you're completely throwing away what made us great, which was the defense. So yeah, man, the emotional fan side of me doesn't like it. The trying to be logical, look at it through Brad's lens side of me
Long
doesn't
term,
like
definitely
it.
don't like it. Yeah.
I just don't like this at all, bro. And,
This
I, and
isn't it.
I'm the
Yeah.
biggest KD fan there is.
Right. But this isn't like it's not a short term or it's not a big fix we needed. We
Right.
need a ball handler that can take the pressure off of Tatum in certain moments, I think. And we need
Mhm.
Tatum to step up. And then we're good. We're as good as we're gonna be.
Yeah.
Um, but if you trade away Brown, you trade away Derek White and potentially like Marcus Smart or whatever.
Yeah.
You're losing that identity and you're starting all over again.
Right.
Uh, and KD, he gets traded here. He doesn't like it here. He leaves,
And who's
and
to say he's gonna
then
like it? He literally,
we're stuck with Tatum, who doesn't want to be here, and he
yeah,
leaves, and now we're back in the lottery.
yeah, without our picks because we traded it away. We're like, that is the worst possible situation to be in. So I don't know, man. Part of me thought at first, I thought the Nets leaked this so that they can sort of send a message to the other teams like, hey, we can get Jaylen Brown, Miami, Toronto up your offer. But I don't know, man. It scares me because it seems like this is like a legit conversation going on between both sides. And like you said, Brad was flawless up till now. So I don't know. I don't get it, man. And then the thing is, all right, so Jalen's 26. KD's not going to get any better. Jalen's obviously going to get better. But I guess like sort of what you have to put into account when trying to make this trade is how good is Jalen going to get? And is like his peak or when he plateaus, is that sort of going to cross paths with KD's decline, which you know is coming. I mean, you kind of saw it this year, honestly. Like I know he had to play 45 minutes that last month just for them to even get into the playoffs. And I think that's honestly why part of the reason why he didn't look the same in the playoffs. But, you know, he played 40 minutes the year before that against Milwaukee and looked great. The year after, 33 years old, he's a year older. It doesn't look as good. So, you know, you could start to see the decline with him. And Jalen, like, he's only gotten so much better each year. So, like, is the risk worth it? Like, for seeing how Jalen's trajectory is and where KD's at right now in his career, like, is it really worth just basically blowing up the team for the idea of having two, you know, number ones? Like, I just, you know,
Would
the more I
you
talk about it, the less I like it.
would you take an NBA ring and then maybe a couple playoff seasons after that, and then you're back in the lottery, or would you rather like second to third round to finals appearances for the next 5 years, and then maybe you win the title?
But the first scenario is like a guaranteed ring. If it's a
More of a
guaranteed ring, I'll
guarantee.
take the ring. Or it's more
Let's
of a
more
okay,
of a
so it's a better
guarantee, I guess.
chance.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like, do you think it really is like, are we better with KD? Do we have a
It's
better
so
chance at
lame
winning the
though.
ring?
And obviously KD is not pulling the strings of where he goes, but like
Mm,
then you're back in my same critique with KD where it's like, yeah, other stars have played with other stars, but KD is playing with other guys that can like put teams on their back by
other number
themselves.
ones.
And other not other number ones and other like primary scorers, which is where it's different, where it's same with like LeBron and whatnot in the past. Like he's had Wade, he's had AD, he's
Yeah.
even had Kyrie in 2016, where like Jordan never he didn't play with anybody else who would be a number one scorer on a finals team or an Eastern Conference Finals team.
Yeah, mark that for just one more reason why he's better than LeBron. But
Yeah. But yeah, that's my take. That's my take on the whole.
it's kind of funny, bro. If it was like KD, he runs from the grind to like, I don't know. It's so weird, dude. It's like, man, you know, and I love the guy, but you leave Golden State, if that was just guaranteed championship every year, okay, whatever. You realize that you're not getting the respect. You go to Brooklyn, like you get your own team. You have a really good roster right now. Like that roster is really good. If you know, obviously if everyone stays healthy, but you can say that with anyone. And and now you're running from the grind to basically it's like he runs from the grind to goes to the grind to go to a worse grind. He doesn't even know it. It's like a hamster wheel he's on for the past 5 years.
You should have
Oh
just came to
man.
Boston in
So did you see what
2016.
Big Baby said? Did you see that clip?
No, but Big Baby be saying some wreck shit. What do you say?
He's a nut. But he was saying, and who knows if this is true, but it probably could be. But he was saying how that whatever the year Katie was a free agent and when he went to Golden State, he was in the Bahamas. Big Baby was in the Bahamas,
Yeah.
and he saw he saw Jerry Allen's sister. No, he saw Katie at a table with Kyrie, who was a Celtic at that time. I guess it was the year
Was
after.
Kyrie? No, this is still IT.
So it must have been the year after because he said Kyrie was at the table, or maybe Big Baby was capping. We just caught him in a lie.
Yeah.
But he was like he saw Kyrie and Tatum at the table.
This is the year KD's leaving OKC for Golden State, right?
I guess not though, because if Kyrie
Oh,
and
so it's a
Tatum were on
different
the
story.
Celtics, it must
Oh
have
yeah, this
been
is before Tatum. So sorry
like
for cutting you off.
2018. But so this is the thing. Big Baby said he saw Tatum at the table though with
Yeah,
Kyrie.
yeah.
So it's like, Big Baby, are you capping right
This
now?
doesn't make any sense, but go on.
Yeah, but he was like he saw. It must have been because he said it
Nah,
was
this don't make
after
no
they won the
sense.
championship. So it
Who?
must have been KD. I think I was wrong to say it was the year of the free agency. I think it was the year after they won the championship. But it was when Kyrie and Tatum was on the Celtics, and he said Kyrie was there and was like, "Oh, first
Oh,
he said he was
we
looking,
would sign you, but we'd rather sign Big
yeah,
Baby.
right." He was like, "Oh man, come to Boston." And then that year happens. That was a fucking disaster. Kyrie bounces to Brooklyn. He said KD would have been a Celtic basically if Kyrie never left the Celtics that season to go to Brooklyn.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'd rather root for these guys than those guys.
KD, Kyrie, Tatum though.
Yeah, no,
That's
I'm good. I'm good.
because then
I'm
again, I
good.
mean,
Kyrie is
who's
a
to
fucking
say
mess, dude. That
they
guy's a
probably blow
mess.
it up? Yeah,
They
you
just
know,
got
yeah, right.
swept. They just got swept by the Celtics.
Yeah,
Like that's not.
but
That's my thing too. You just swept this team. Why are you trading like
yeah,
some of the key players from that sweep for
yeah,
their best player that you shut down? It just doesn't make sense to me.
it's
It
weird,
makes a little sense to me because, like I said, like you do, it's looking good that year if KD is healthy, but who knows?
right?
But yeah, it's not the craziest thing. Like I said, it's not Bill Russell what traded here. Jalen
Yeah,
Brown's not like the all-time greatest, whatever, Boston athlete, but
I
yeah,
think it's like the trading of the quote unquote identity of the team. Because I see because like they're trading the player Brown, but then you're also trading like what made this team so good. Like that was our identity, the defense. And I don't know, man. It's like if it's not broke, the saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I don't know, Brad. This is a weird move. And now it sucks because Brown, I mean, he's gonna show up. He's gonna rock out for his 2 years if he's on the team. Who knows? We probably might get the tweet after this pod that the fucking trade went down. But he's gonna rock out for his, the 2 years that he has left on his deal. But who's to say that after that 2 years, I mean, he said he's not gonna forget this. I don't know, man. It's depressing, but we're gonna see. We're really gonna see how it plays out. And I don't know. I guess that's all I really wanted to discuss as far as this whole
yeah.
trade offer. I don't know if you had any more thoughts on it.
No, no, no. We'll play
Yeah.
it by ear.
Yeah, we'll play it by ear. I guess okay, another thing, Mitchell going to the Knicks. What do you think about that? I don't have much thoughts on it, but it's been talked about.
Is it a done deal?
I don't think so,
Oh,
but
okay. Yeah, I was
I
like, did
think
I
they
miss something? Like in the past 20 minutes?
but I
Uh,
think like that's they say it might happen.
that'll be very funny. That'll be
Because right
very,
now
very funny.
they're
Because New York
treating
fans
Jalen
are
Brunson
hilarious.
like MJ. Yeah.
Yeah, their backcourt will be you and me, the height. And they're gonna let up 130 points a game and be
Yeah.
a 7 seed maybe.
Facts.
And
Julius Randle is gonna be upset
but the
at the
crowd,
end.
the Garden will be rocking.
That's another thing. Like, Katie, why did you not go to the Knicks, man? What a
I mean,
fucking
we come on.
weirdo.
The Knicks are cursed though. I don't blame them for that.
I
They're
know, but
cursed.
if they even have one good season, that they're fucking gods. I guess he doesn't care about that, although he calls himself a god. I don't know. But yeah, I guess that was sort of our thoughts on this potential trade that might not happen. All right, Gabe. I did so that we can get that out the way. I did want to throw some funny
So
topics at you.
yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Jeremiah planned this pod. I knew about the KD conversation at the start. The rest of this pod, I have no idea what's coming my way.
And to be honest, bro, I think we should start doing this. I think each week, let's just throw some surprise shit that we just know we're just gonna have our 2 cents on. Add some suspense
So
to
Gabe, I have some
uh,
results for you. You have a son. Uh
yeah.
his name is
Oh
Michael
man.
and
I'm
he's
pregnant.
3 years old.
So there's this show called have you heard of Big Mouth on Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay, and there's a spinoff called Human Resources. And bro, it's actually hilarious. I definitely recommend it. But the fucking hormone monster guy, Maury, he like can get pregnant and he's a guy. So I'm like, what if I just stood up and you just see a fucking bulge in
Maybe.
my stomach? And I'm like, hey, Gabe, I
It's
got
disgusting.
that's it. But nah, I'm not pregnant. No one's pregnant. I mean, a lot of let me chill. But at first, okay, Julio signed with the Bucks.
Oh
That's
yeah.
awesome. I know
Yeah,
that's your guy.
bro. I've
Yeah,
been
go
wanting
ahead.
this forever. This is my match made in heaven. Brady and Julio
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
Chris Godwin and Big Mike.
Big Mike,
Oh my
man.
God. Fire the cannons.
Fat Lenny.
Fire the
Let's
fucking
go.
cannons.
Yeah. And
September 11th. What'd he say? What did
see,
Lenny say?
he said,
I'll say
something,
actions
something.
speak louder than words. I'll see y'all
See,
September 11th.
oh man, Lenny. That was good choice of words there, Lenny. But yeah, Julio signs with the Bucks. That's great. Gabe's a big Julio fan. Was it him or Ty? Who was the firstborn?
Ty is the firstborn, but Julio got me a ring. And
Mm,
Julio's definitely my fantasy darling.
he's the favorite.
Uh
He's the favorite son.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just great and just like amazing. Who was it? That video that surfaced like a year or 2 years ago of Larry Fitzgerald talking to, was it Kyler or somebody on the sideline, and Julio's warming up on the other side and he was like, that guy right there, that's the best. That's the
And he
best
was
right there. Or he said something. He's like, no,
Larry.
he's
Larry
different.
talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Julio.
Julio. And it's like if
Yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald's saying that,
Facts.
um, obviously he makes one of the greatest catches of all time that nobody's gonna remember
Dude, I
in the
was just
Super
gonna bring
Bowl.
that up. That catch.
That catches it's in that was like it was so good and he's so great that I was just like, what can I say? You know,
Right.
I was like, damn, we were close. He's different though.
And that wasn't like the bullshit Tyree or the Mario
No,
Manningham
no, it was
crap
just I'm the best at what I
greatness.
do. Yeah.
Facts.
No luck involved whatsoever.
Yeah. So yeah, he's with the Bucks. That's gonna be fun. It's funny you brought up Kyler because he was the next on this list.
Thank you up.
It- so, dude, you know how we call him Binky Wop and toddler? It's actually true. I don't know if you saw this, but in his so he just signed a deal, whatever, 4 year, two something. And
Yeah.
in the contract, this is literally part of the contract. He has to watch 4 hours of film because the Cardinals can't trust him to watch film. So basically, Kyler Murray is actually a toddler.
I thought you were gonna say he has to watch 4 hours of Peppa Pig.
You might as well, bro. It's like you have to be told to watch film as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like you're a fucking baby.
Yeah.
So that was, yeah, I thought
He
that
probably
was
never watched much
hilarious.
film because he was just naturally great. And he was too
'Cause
busy
he's
playing baseball and shit.
playing Call of Duty with fucking Bronny. Nah, man, he's a fucking toddler, man. That's insane that you have to be like, I've never
That was
seen that,
disgust.
bro.
People
Yeah.
forget, especially with no, I won't say with football actually.
Mm.
Regardless of the sport, early playoff meltdowns. Like if you have a bad playoff performance in round one,
Yeah.
people tend to forget about it.
That's so true.
That was really bad versus the
Yeah.
Rams.
Yeah.
That was
it
like
was.
that was a meltdown that he
Literally.
had last
He
season in
literally
January.
shot his diapers. I just remember one play where it might have been Donald too, where they were just spinning him and he fucking threw it. And there he was in his own end zone and it was a pick six. And I was
That's
like, oh,
yeah, that's what came to mind. That was
That's
like
the
right
play,
before the
right?
half.
Yeah, right. It was like 20. I'm like, come on. And that game was supposed to be fun too. And it was like on a Monday or a Tuesday, some weird shit.
Yeah, it was it was on ESPN, so you knew it was gonna suck.
I'm excited for football though, man.
Me too. Football's
that
back.
clip of
There you go.
Brady throwing
I
the
like
bomb
PFT.
to
Football's back.
Football's back. Oh man. When I hear Big Cat like fucking moan when he talks about football, like I feel that. Like
Yeah.
I feel the sexual tension when it comes to football. But yeah, and I was just thinking about that bomb Brady threw today in training camp to Perriman.
It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be nice.
It's
See, we're
gonna get-
Bucks. We have to decide. We were talking about,
I
oh,
know.
we're gonna be hard.
We're talking
We haven't
about
made a
fucking
decision. We're gonna
Perriman.
root for. I can't not root for this.
Hell no, man. Is he gonna get number 8, man?
Like I texted you the other day, you brought up number 8, and I'm like, 8 doesn't
Nuts.
even sound like a real number in terms of Super Bowl rings, but neither does 7.
Right. Or even 6 sounds kind of crazy.
6
It got
sounds crazy
crazy.
too.
It probably got crazy after 5, right? Like
Yeah.
5 was officially crazy.
6 was crazy. Yeah, 5 was like you're the goat. 4 was you're the goat. 5
Yeah,
is
4 is
like
the
you're
GOAT, yeah.
definitive.
Mhm.
6 was overkill.
Yeah.
And
And
7 by
is like, you're a
yourself,
fucking
like
nut.
not by yourself, but without Bill.
First year, like it's different, bro. This guy might get 8. Oh man, Tommy. All right, another thing I had on this little list, keeping it football. I just can't wait. Amendola retired.
Yeah,
Playoff Danny. He's
Yeah.
given us some good memories.
Ugh. Yeah, I shared that on Facebook the other day.
Yeah.
Always came through in the clutch. Always like automatic in the clutch. Super Bowl 45? No, 49, sorry. Super Bowl
Was that
40.
Seattle?
Yeah, he was great in
Yeah.
Super Bowl 49. Was he in Super Bowl 51? Yeah, he was, right?
Yeah, I think so. Man,
Or
we're
was that
so
Chris
fucking
Hogan?
spoiled. Oh, might have been Hogan.
Yeah, was he gone by then?
I think Danny was there too,
I think
though.
he was there. No, he was there.
Yeah,
He's a
he
two-time
was,
champ.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he was
okay.
gone for 19.
Mm.
I'm not sure. I think he was though. He
When
was
when we
there.
beat the Rams,
Yeah, he was
yeah,
there for the Super Bowl versus Atlanta.
yeah.
But obviously the Jaguars game, that comeback, one of the
Yes,
all-time great catches in the back of the end zone.
that was all him,
Uh
man.
he just turned into Superman. Eh,
Facts.
but remember he shows up in New England and people were kind of underwhelmed. I remember
I
being
wasn't
at a
feeling
game.
it,
I
to be
was at a
honest.
game and he caught the ball at the 20. He caught a bomb from Brady at the 20 and there
Yeah,
was nobody around him.
he fucking
And
ran backwards or something.
no, but he was so slow they got caught up at the 5 by the
Oh, I
guy
hate
trailing him.
those. I hate those.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, this fucking guy.
And
But
then
they
probably
obviously
LeGarrette Blunt had to take the touchdown away from Brady. Oh, dude.
fantasy. But football, yeah. Yeah. Amendola, all-time great clutch patriot.
For
Definitely
sure.
one of my favorites. Definitely one of my
Yeah.
favorites. Did
Shout
you
out
ever
to
meet him
him.
through the cathedral
Yeah,
connection?
actually,
Yeah.
dude, I even forgot about that at the adopt the student dinner. I think I still have that picture. Let me see if I could find it real quick. He was like, he was so chill. It's like, see, like, that's what you kind of hope for when you meet professional athletes. It's like, is this guy a dickhead in real life, or is he gonna be chill? And that picture does not no longer exist, which means I never met him. So, oh no, there it is.
Let's see it. Oh, that's
There,
nice.
baby J,
Uh,
fucking no
couple
facial
good looking
hair.
guys.
Danny. Oh yeah, what year was this? That was 2014. Wow. When the hell did he come to the Pats?
2013, I think.
Bro, he's
Or
low-key been on there
2014.
longer than I thought.
Nah,
Wow.
yeah, he was there for a little bit.
That's crazy. But yeah, shout out Danny. Hell of a career, hell of a Patriot.
Yeah.
All right.
And put up numbers everywhere he went too. Like he was a
Mm-hmm.
bright spot on that Rams team.
Yeah, with fucking Sam Bradford.
Yeah, and Chris Long.
That team is like, that's one of those teams like they just never existed. Steven Jackson, like those guys weren't real.
Oh yeah, Steven Jackson, who also played for the
Mhm.
Patriots for a second, right?
I
He was
think,
on one of the
wow,
Super Bowl teams
it's a
that
little trend
lost, I
there.
think.
St. Louis Rams slash turn Patriots.
Yeah.
Was he on the Philly?
He might be on that team, yeah.
Was it that dark night?
Yeah. Where Brady lost it and they still lost.
Fuck. Looking back though, I'm kind of glad Brady has that on his resume, like that great performance. And it's like,
In a
I
loss?
obviously, I mean, right, I'm just so happy that Philly won. Like, obviously, I wish they won that night, but it's like another sort
Oh,
of
for
check on
sure.
Brady's legacy. Like, this guy
Yeah.
was fucking great.
Yeah.
Belichick tried to tank the Super Bowl, and like,
Yeah, because Malcolm Butler didn't call him sir.
yeah, he didn't fucking. I was gonna say
And now he's
something
back,
nasty.
right? Isn't Butler back with the Pats?
Is he?
Let me
Dude,
see.
the NFL is like so
Yeah.
fucking different
You
from
forget
like a
football
year
exists until
ago.
September
Facts.
a lot of the time. So like the details of it. And you forget like these guys that during the season you think about them often throughout the week,
Right.
but they are
Yeah.
not on your mind at all in the summer.
Yeah,
Like
that's
obviously
so true.
Brady will come to mind, fucking Deshaun Watson because of what's going on and different superstars,
Like
but
Kyle Van Noy, we're probably thinking about him.
guys like that,
Yeah.
yeah, they don't. David Andrews.
Who else is on the fucking,
Eli
Logan
Apple.
Mankins.
Eli
Eli
Apple.
Apple. That's a good one. Oh man. Yeah, like that's what's so cool about football. Like when you're in the football season, you're so immersed
Yeah.
just into everything. And then you got fantasy too. Oh shit, he is on the Patriots and he's number 4 now. What the fuck? Wow.
He's back.
I wonder
Super Bowl
how.
hero Malcolm Butler.
Yeah, no, seriously. All right, now it's gonna get kind of weird. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So I don't know if you saw this, but over the weekend, Elon Musk was apparently he was in an affair with the Sergey Brin, who's the founder of Google.
Okay.
Apparently he was fucking his wife
Yeah.
for like the past year, and then I
And then
guess
he said, I don't fuck at all.
right,
That was his, that's what he
or he
said to
fucks a
that.
lot, and that's it, like we're supposed to root, like we're supposed to support the fact that he fucks a lot because I guess he's trying to keep the human population going. But yeah, he was caught fucking with the Google founder's wife,
Yeah.
and they're in the middle of a divorce right now. And
Yeah.
Elon is like, he had a tweet. They try to misconstruct the things I do. Not really sure what that means. And apparently Elon was on his knees begging for the guy's forgiveness. And of course, they've all since this came out, everyone's saying this never happened. But you know what? I'm just gonna believe it happened because
Is
it,
that
it
funny?
sounds better. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, it's just I just want to live in that
Well,
world.
I
And
mean,
Elon probably would do some sick shit like that. Oh, he also said, "I don't have enough time in the day for this." Was another tweet.
that's bullshit. Because there was that thing about him being on the plane
Uh-oh.
and like he would offer thousands of dollars for like, favors from certain women who work for him. Uh
He's a fucking
yeah,
weirdo.
I believe it. But yeah, that's something else they were talking about that podcast. Like people always knew this stuff about him, but once he goes anti-liberal, that's when the stuff comes out, which is
Right.
fair, which is
That is
definitely fair
fair.
in my
Yeah, I'm
opinion.
actually not gonna argue that.
However, yeah, and like his dad, like didn't you hear like his dad, like
Oh, dude,
his
that's
stepdaughter,
fucking
like he
nuts.
adopts this girl and all of a sudden they're having an affair together or something, and
And she's basically his
it's
sister and
creepy. I mean, these
aunt
are
or
different.
stepmom.
These are not normal people. These
That's
are
what I'm saying.
billionaires. This is
Yeah,
not. I hate. This is my
that's sort of the
thing.
point here.
With
Yep.
people who idolize this guy. No, just I'm not shitting on him any more than I'd shit on somebody else, like any other billionaire. But it's like, stop. They are not like you.
Hmm.
You are not gonna get to where they are as what you are
Yeah.
unless you're. It's just never gonna happen.
Yeah,
These guys are born into wealth, and it involves luck, and it involves there is work that goes along with it, sure, but
for
that is
sure.
not obtainable by you. And I hate to put limits on people, but
Reality,
I've
yeah.
heard AJ say it, I guess last week. Nobody should be a billionaire. Like
Mm.
it's luck, it's you're born into it, and it's off of the hard work of others. That's how you get there. It's not through one man's vision or whatever.
A
Uh,
billion dollars is fucking insane. Like you don't need that much
where it's
money.
like, yeah, and then none of these people are truly good people, or else
Yeah,
they wouldn't have all that money. That's what I
that's
say about
that's a
politicians too.
good
Like
point
these aren't real people. That's what I say about politicians. You have to have an
Yeah,
ego to run for office.
for sure.
Because if you truly want to change things, you would never get that far in the political game.
Hmm.
Because the political game is not um what's the word I'm looking innocent. It's not an
It's
innocent
dirty.
thing, you know?
It's a
You have to be
dirty
you
game.
have to be if you want to get
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. No, that's a good point. That sort of was like the main point of me bringing that up. Is like these people they live completely
They're
different
crazy,
lives than
yeah.
all of us. Yeah, they're like I bet they all fucking go to. Okay, I mean, I
I'll
guess
say
there
some
was an
crazy
island
stuff.
that existed,
Yes.
and there was some people involved and shit like like see
Yeah, I
like
was
this
thinking
shit is
about that. As
actually
I said, the
real, bro.
billionaire thing. Like you look at
Yeah,
like a bunch of people are on that list.
yeah, man. It
You can look
fucking
that up. That's public information. I looked it up the other day. It's a bunch of people you'll never hear of, and then you'll look. You just
and they're all
keep going
fucking
down.
super rich.
Tom Hanks, Chris Tucker, and you keep
See,
going down. Clinton, Trump, obviously. Uh, they're all there.
it's like I feel like I don't know, man. That's why sometimes I get kind of scared. I mean, this sounds fucking weird, but
You
sometimes
feel
you
like
get
we're
kind
about
of
to get
scared.
I'm
Yeah, like what if
scared.
we
A guy's
blow
gonna
up?
come behind me and shoot me in the back of the head
Yeah, no, or yeah, or that would be
on this
tragic.
Zoom.
What I'm saying, like, all right, what if we fucking blow up and we just become super rich? Like, what happens? Do people come in suits to your house and they start telling you like you now have to join this fucking club where you know fucking kidnapping babies and shit? Like, you just enter
But there's
another
different
world.
levels of rich.
That's true.
Like one of the things I do at work is I put together media reports,
Yeah.
and you put together like how many people saw certain things and like how much traffic a certain website that featured your client gets and shit.
Mhm.
And like one client, there'll be a website like MSN or something. It will be like 929 million, the crazy number, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll get a bunch of another, like you could get millions, 10 millions and whatnot. You keep adding it up and you never get to a billion.
Wow.
That's how much it is. Like all of these massive numbers, and I look at like that's the wealth like that these people have. Like
Yeah.
we would never blow up that far.
I feel that. Yeah.
At least not
So,
like not in the entertainment business, you know. There's only a few cases.
I bet what website has the highest traffic?
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm thinking of.
You're nasty, man.
Everybody fucking watches porn, man.
You're a nasty boy.
But like,
Wouldn't it be Google though? Wouldn't Google be number one? Does that even
probably,
count?
yeah. Because it's a search engine, I guess. I mean, I don't know, but I bet you like there has like if there's a top 10 or whatever list, porn has to be in the top
You
10.
think so?
It has to be.
I'm
Or am
sure
I just
this is
that
public
sick?
information. I'm sure it's publicly available.
It has to be
Whatever
out
we're
there.
the numbers we're looking for here.
Someone look that up for us. But yeah, so Elon just doing weird billionaire stuff. And Kid Cudi, we were gonna talk about this last week with Seb, but
Oh
I
yeah.
guess we could just talk about it now. He got fucking booed at Rolling Loud and people
Yeah,
started throwing
that
shit
was a
at
bad
him.
look. That was a bad
That
look.
was bullshit. And I blame Rolling Loud for that. So I don't know. Do you kind of know how that the whole background to that?
Sort of. Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
with the Kanye shit, Kanye was gonna perform,
right.
and then he bowed out. Kid Cudi
Mhm.
replaces him and
Knowing and
gets
Rolling
booed off the
Loud
stage.
knows that Kid Cudi and Kanye have beef, by the way.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then Kanye shows up later to
And
perform with
plays the
who? Lil Durk or something?
Lil Durk and then plays the song that him and Kid Cudi have, Stretch My Hands, which is like, this is fucking
It's
all-time
weird.
level
That
troll
might be
slash
on
weird.
Kanye shit.
You think I mean, I think Kanye's
It's
fucking
definitely
weird for that.
it's
But
partly
Rolling
for
Loud,
oh for sure they allowed it.
yeah. It's like, what are you guys doing? And then people, like, what the fuck? You're gonna throw
Yeah,
shit
did you
at
see the
him?
mugshots? They found them.
Oh, did they find
They're
that
like
guy?
5 years old, Jay. They're like
I
5-year old
bet.
clowns.
Fuck them. Just
Yeah, no, I don't care.
the
Get
end.
rid of 'em.
Fuck them kids.
Yeah. Uh
But yeah, now shout out Cuddy though, because he's an amazing artist and he didn't deserve that. But
no, it's not cool. And I like that he was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not doing this.
yeah, he was like,
I don't need this
yeah,
shit. But
dude, he
then
was
yeah, Kanye, it's
pissed.
like it's another thing where it's like you just add that to the list where it's yo, Kanye's crazy. Yo, Kanye did this. He's crazy. Well, Kanye unfollowed this person and then did this
Yeah,
and what like was seen with this person and said this about Pete Davidson and this and that. Kanye's crazy. Yeah, he's crazy. He's actually crazy. He's a crazy person.
like he's actually
Very
clinically
talented
insane.
person. He's actually insane though.
Yes,
And you
that's the
guys
best way
enable
to
it.
put it.
You all
Yeah,
enable it and laugh at it, and then he does. And then when it gets serious, you defend him, but then you're laughing with him, and it's you can't have both. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to
yeah.
pick one. Should we feel
I don't
bad for him
know.
for being crazy, or should we laugh at it?
Right.
Because you
It
don't get
sucks
to
because
do both.
like, yeah, that's like the public. It's sort of fucked up how we sort of respond to those things. But I don't know if you ever watched that documentary he dropped last year, the Genius one. But there was a scene where like they were on some ranch recording one of his albums, and like the dude who was like it was basically the way the documentary was set up was like his main guy that he knew from like way back before he even met Jay-Z, all this, like before he was even Kanye, basically. Like this dude always just had a camera with him, and Kanye was like, I want you to follow me for my career and like document everything that happens. And this is before he even blew up. And then fast forward fucking 20 years later when he's recording, I think it was literally the album that was called I'm Bipolar, which is like how ironic is that? But there was a scene where he was literally like having an episode, like a bipolar episode, and Justin Bieber was fucking there, and he looked fucking scared, and it was one of those things where like, man, I don't even feel comfortable watching this. Like, why are we watching this? Which goes back to your point. It's like, I don't know, the sort of attention that goes into this mental health sometimes with these celebrities. I think because they're celebrities, it's sort of like a spectacle, but like then they do crazy shit like fucking like what the shit Kanye's done the past couple of years, and then it's it's Kanye. Well, I love Kanye to death. Like I think he's a genius, musically, fashion. Like the dude is a genius, but I don't know, man. The way we the way we react to these things sometimes with these celebrities, it gets weird. And that, like you said, it enables it because he sees that and it's like, okay, this is like, I guess this is normal. Like, this is the reaction that happens when I do this.
And
Like,
it's
what's the
idolism
point of
too. It's like
changing? Yeah.
people got hip to rap through Kanye and shit or whatever when they were a kid. And now
Mhm.
with a lot of people, once they love you, you can do whatever you want. It's the Trump
You
thing.
can do no wrong. Yeah.
Trump, I could walk into the middle of 10th Avenue or wherever, Fifth Avenue, and shoot a guy in the head, and people would still vote for me. He's 100% right.
Yeah.
I not to spoil, and I'll even watch the show. I'm going to eventually, but I saw this scene, and it definitely made me think of that what Trump said. But it's like it's Homelander in the boys, and he
Oh, you
just
know I
like
love this show.
he blew some guy's head off in front of everybody.
And they start
And
cheering
they
him
start
on.
cheering. They're like, "Oh, we love this," and it's like he's like, "All
Dude.
right."
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's because he was like, "Oh fuck," for a second, and then he realized
Right.
like, "Oh, people love me no matter what I do."
That
And it's
was
the
lit
same with these people in their fan bases, and they're
100%.
yes men around them.
Yeah. That's a great point, man. And by the way, that show, Gabe, you got to get to it one day.
I will.
It's so good. I know it's fucking,
I've been
it gets
spoiled so much, but
gory.
like a lot of the scenes I've
I
seen
know.
are good, and the acting's great.
Oh, the
Um,
acting is so good. That's probably what stands out most to me. It's the acting, and then it's shit like that because they'll throw in those moments, and I think it's intentional. Like I think the people who wrote that show was trying to sort of compare that to the Trump that quote he had saying he'll shoot someone and still get votes. Like that's why I kind of like them. Like they keep it real as far as like the street shit and what's going on out in these streets, but you know it's also fucking entertaining because it's superheroes who have mental issues. Um, Last thing I guess, and we could probably wrap it up here. Drake almost went to jail in Sweden, and I just thought that was funny because Drizzy in jail, like, what does that even look like? He's probably like staring out the bars, and is he writing a song? Like, what do you think is going on?
I feel like he's standing behind the jail because he's in like I picture him in a jail cell. You know, in the sitcoms when like whoever goes to jail for the night and they're like, "Hey, let me out," and there's like some guy at a desk, like, like I
Falling
just picture
asleep.
Drizzy like cracking jokes and shit, like walking, pacing, and his thing about it.
Yeah, I mean,
They got me.
yeah, I was seeing some
They got me
shit.
fucked
Like,
up in here. Like
I was seeing
just
some
talking like
shit.
that.
They throw him in the fucking in the rough zone, and Drizzy gets roughed up a little bit. I was seeing some tweets like that, and I was like,
Oh
oh man, I don't want to see that happen to my guy. But and then he came out, he was like, it actually wasn't true. But then a
yeah,
couple days later, he posted something on Instagram, like a letter kind of flexing that he almost got arrested. It's
because he
like,
needs the
oh
street cred. If anybody needs it,
yeah,
it's him. He's like,
right.
I'll take anything. Can
Some
we make
people
up a
were like,
story where like
yeah.
I got arrested in Sweden for whatever?
People were like, they finally fucking arrested him for that trash album he dropped. And I was like, oh man. Have you heard
That's
that
me.
album, by the way?
I've heard some songs.
How do you feel
I
about
really
it?
think a lot of people like to sound like they know what they're talking about, so they'll say certain things about certain albums, like, "Oh, he did this genre that he's not good at, and he tried this and that." And it's like, yeah, but it's still music. It
Right.
still sounded like music to. I didn't love it, but it still sounded like music to me. And a lot of the shit people love these days is not. Not to sound like an old fart. A lot of shit, like some of the shit Playboy Cardi gets away with. Yeah, it
Ooh.
might sound lit in a crowd, but
It's a vibe.
I guess it's gonna make your brain go numb if you listen to it too much.
Like
They're not
if
saying
you're
actual
sleeping in
words.
bed and you're listening to Cardi, that's kind of insane. But like if
Yeah,
you're
he's
in the
not saying
car,
actual words.
that's not my slap. Yeah.
They're
I don't know.
going too far.
I love
We've
Cardi.
gone too far. It's like,
It's out of hand
and
now.
it's like we're praising this guy. It's like these guys aren't even making the beats. So like the best part of their music isn't
That's
even
a
in
good
them.
point though.
Of course, you need to know how to write it. You have to have a certain presence about you. Like I'm not knocking these artists completely, and I loved Cardi's first two albums.
Mm,
He's just the figure I'm using. Like there's a bunch of people who are 10 times worse than he is when it comes to this type of shit. But
yeah.
that's my thing. Like the Drake album, I don't think it was that bad. I think people are kind of
Yeah.
giving him a rough time. People Drake's always gonna get if it's not a banger, he's always gonna get killed by half the people.
Yeah. Like we were talking, like when we had Joe on, it's like when you're that high, when you've reached that level, there's no matter what, you're gonna get criticized. You know, my thing was I just wanted the raps, you know, I wanted that nothing was the same classic vibe. That's just the selfish fan in me. And that's why I
Mhm.
was like, oh man, I'm not really fucking with this. But then after I sort of accepted it for what it was, and like you said, music is music at the end of the day. Once I sort of, you know, kind of digested it a little bit. I'm like, okay, I kind of see what he's trying to go for here. It started to grow on me a little bit. So
You're on that the Shaq to Christian Wood. I apologize. I didn't. I
yeah,
wasn't familiar with your game or whatever the fuck you
in
said.
fact, no, that's perfect. That's literally what it was. But yeah, shout out Drizzy. He's freed out that gym. And I don't know, Gabe. I guess I could wrap it up. You had any other thoughts? Anything you wanted to talk about?
Let me see. Feel like feel like that might do it. Feel like that felt quick.
It was. What are we
Where
at?
are we
We're
at?
at 55 minutes though.
55? Oh, that felt way quicker. That felt
It
like a half hour to me.
it kind of did, yeah.
Yeah, imagine if we'd even do
The KD
the
shit.
pod well the we did that random podcast stuff at the beginning.
Oh, right. Yeah. If we just, yeah, true. It would have been a quick 30. But yeah, man, I guess that
Yeah,
could
man.
wrap it up.
That'll wrap it up. Thanks for waiting for us guys. We're happy to put this out.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all.
Not sure when this will drop, but yeah. So slow part of the sports calendar. Do a little
Facts.
freestyle today. Jay, great topics. Great
Thank you,
topics.
man. Anytime.
I believe we'll have a guest next week. And I'll leave that guest will be a mystery for now, but I
Mm.
promise if it is who I think it will be, it's gonna be a good one.
Ooh,
And
I like it.
this podcast will center around the gym for all you gym folks out there who'll be in
Mm.
there 5 days a week to 7 or whenever. It'll be funny, I promise. And I recorded a One Piece Theories podcast. If you're interested in that, with on Connection Media Presents with Connor Adams, who has no social media, so I can't tag him in anything. But besides that, I think a wrestling podcast should be coming out soon. Of course, there's the Vince stuff. We didn't talk about that. Let me do a quick 2 minutes on Vince.
Go ahead.
So they're gonna definitely go in depth on the wrestling pod, but yeah, Vince is out of WWE. He got pushed out.
Mm.
Too many scandals. Too many. It was basically has to do with like the amount of money he was spending in hush money for women.
Mm.
He didn't. He didn't rape anybody or anything of the
Which is
sort.
crazy because it doesn't feel as if that's like in the top 5 worst things Vince
It's not.
done. It's
It's
not even
not, but
top
it's the
5.
top 5 worst, like directly affecting his business, like the money in his
Mm.
business. And he's out, and Triple H is back in. And Triple H is running the show now. And
The game.
I think they had a certain plan going up to SummerSlam. And after that, I expect good things out of them. I tried watching Raw for the first time in forever the other night. It was the
How was
first Raw where
that?
Vince isn't at the helm. Had a little breath of fresh air to it. I'm not gonna lie, but
Mm.
at the end of the day, I checked out because 3 hours is just too long for a wrestling show. Uh,
Yeah.
and the storylines, you can't change storylines on the drop of a hat. So obviously, it's not gonna get. I think after SummerSlam, which is this Saturday, it's gonna get better. And let's see. Yeah, that should do it. I expect good things. I mean, Triple H. That I think in terms of wrestling, he is a genius. He is a very smart guy. Listen to him in interviews. Very well spoken guy, and uh, I'm expecting good things. But yeah,
Sounds good.
yeah. Tune into the for a more in depth look at that. Tune into the Wrestling Podcast Suicida. Connection Media presents. Make sure you go subscribe to that. Thanks to everybody who already has. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. We're getting it back on there. And yeah, Jay, I'll talk to you next time.
See you soon,
Hopefully,
Gabe.
hopefully
Jalen's still
Jalen
a
Brown's still a
Celtic.
Celtic. Yeah,
Yeah, for
we'll
sure,
talk.
man.
All
All
right,
right,
Jay.
bro.
See ya.
Peace.